weekend like this and a game like this here today?
Not much. I got a lot of thoughts, but they'll probably have to be shared when it's not such an emotional moment for the guys. Let them enjoy it a little bit. But what those thoughts will be is once the thrill of the victory dies down, the biggest thing about today's win was it was done with so many different guys. And it kind of goes to show you, I mean, I did a bunch of quirky things, moves and coach, and I don't know that a lot of them were smart, but good players will make you look smart. And we were able to utilize a lot of guys that are good players, ending with the guy that you showed, or that showed you that he's got pretty good stuff. And then on the whole, the weekend was so valuable for both teams. I think as a few weeks died down, yeah, we were able to get the benefit of one more win, but I think both teams probably got a heck of a lot better by playing in this environment, which was essentially a super regional environment, and not the prettiest of 3 games, but no question they were competitive.
How much fun is it to coach a team that has that depth that you can use like that, and then just also is really never dead in the game?
Yeah, it gives you a sense of comfort, that there's a lot of different things that can occur. Last week we talked about Payne getting a bunt down, and then today, we're wondering what do we have down in the bullpen. And to be honest with you, we had Loy ready for Petrie, who's one of the better left-handed hitters in the conference. And I think Loy's been chomping at the bit. I trust him. I have confidence in him to come in there. If for some reason it's second, third, and, the winning run's at third or the tying run, at third, winning at second, whatever the situation might be. So, there's even more guys I feel like than we used today. But the guys we used today showed you that they're fully capable of having success in any situation.
How impressive is what Simo did at the plate these last 2 days?
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, there's no really words to put into it. And, I think both teams probably kind of played to a stalemate for much of the weekend if you were just going to dissect it. I feel like we made a lot of mistakes. I assume we made more than they did, but a separator was he. And really, him and Burke were the separators overall, just because of their leadership, their presence, the defense. Blake plays at first base, and obviously he did some things at the plate as well.
Kind of think of Christian's play in the Clemson Regional, going back to that a little bit of how he steps up in these kind of big-time moments. Just what makes him able to do that? Yeah,
a little bit. Also, freshman year, there was an SEC series on the road where he just kind of seemed to be a man possessed, as did a lot of guys in that dugout. But he stuck out, and he got a chance to play in that game and brought us back from a deficit and won. So kind of had flashbacks of that. But he's had a lot of moments, and he's bound to have more, especially at the big league level. So fortunate to have him in the dugout, but I kind of fall back on that whole deal of during those guys' tenure of Blake and Simo, you all want to talk about different accomplishments they've had or accolades. In about 17 years, no one's going to remember each of those because they might get broken, whatever the records and accolades are, but there is no way anyone that wears orange is going to forget what those 2 guys have done as it relates to just competing, thrilling the fans, and also just helping our program win games, winning percentage.
Pretty big moment there. I forgot what inning it was, but bases loaded with Cannon instead of maybe Dylan, Margo, anybody else. What made you confident in that move?
His presence. I mean, post the lineup, he's frustrated he's not in. Quick turn the page and make sure he's got the best preparation or gets his work in VP. And you see those swings starting to calm down a little bit and get a lot smoother. And then when the game starts, consistently involved in the game. Cheering on the team is one thing, but we're not the cheerleading team. With all due respect to them, we're in the middle of the game, and he's watching and observing on what he can do if he's in the game or what we need to do to win. And so all those things add up as the right guy for the spot. And to be honest with you, you could go to 2 or 3 other guys and feel that way too. But I'm glad he got in there, got that feel good, and also showed that he can catch in any situation. With a game on the line, our season on the line, and we can trust him and have success.
How significant was what Kirby gave y'all for multiple innings, just given what was left in the bullpen?
It was huge because going into the day, we felt like Snead and Banky were going to have to throw well for us to have a chance to win against that lineup. And both of them will tell you that, Banky just flat out had his worst day of the year, which to me, it's behind us. So good it's behind us. And then Snead, we've kind of gotten him hot a bunch of different times the last 2 weeks, and for whatever reason, they were just on him. So again, good to have it behind us. Look forward to watching him pitch again. But neither one of them, Kirby basically picked him up, and they've picked him up before too. So for him to get us where we got and kind of be on fumes there at the end, I think was huge. And then, that's big for Marcus. We got better as a team in a lot of different ways this weekend, but obviously one with an exclamation point is Marcus just knowing who he is. It reminds me of Garrett Crochet a little bit, and I'm not comparing the two at all, but the last guy in our facility to know that Garrett Crochet was good was Garrett Crochet, which is usually the opposite with the kids. And Marcus, I think, knows he's good and thinks he's good, but he's going to be the last one to realize how good he truly is and can be.
How much faith, obviously, you had a lot putting Backus out there in that situation in center field, first SEC action, and a guy that hadn't seen as much playing time yet?
No, he hasn't, and he's been patient. I've said it before to you all, and he deserves more. But why he got in that situation was his play in the midweek game where he had that crazy, play off the wall. I think it ended up being a double play. I forget. It was a wild play, but it was a hustle play that he made, and we get a guy thrown out at third base because Charlie Taylor's in right field. That's right. So anyway, he's put in his work every day, and he is light years ahead of where he was when he first got into the program. And he's another guy I think can play for a long time, especially with how physical he is. But for now, you can tell he's ready for his opportunities, and when he gets it, trust me, he deserves it.
Did you learn anything about this team this weekend?
Yeah, just a ton. And really about both teams in the state of our league. It's scary to think there's better teams in our league than what we just played, but our guys get tough when the tough gets going. And we always say cliches are cliche for a reason. I wondered if they had it in them at all, and then I've told you guys as the spring goes, it's like, oh, okay, we have it. But now they're kind of starting to stamp, new spots along the way, or however you want to phrase it. So it's been impressive, and I don't want them to hear that. But I think, if anything, they should be eager for the next opportunity to see how determined they can get when it's not exactly the easiest set of circumstances.